Fairway Media presents, with the help of Gripped.com, our 2020 coverage sponsor, the Columbia Cup social distance C-tier out here at McCormick Park in St. Helens, Oregon. I'm Michael Grummert.
And I'm Ian Blake.
We have round one commentary of the MPO, feature card front nine.
First up, we have Ben Cole, current rating 999, the 2019 Columbia Cup champion.
Up next, we've got my partner in crime here, Ian Blake. Current rating was 986 at this time. He also won the Columbia Cup back in 2018. Popping up here, have Liam Stott. Current rating 995.
And last on the card, Madison Tomeno, current rating 904.
Got a great starting hole here. Hole 1, 225 feet. Got a forehand line off the tee most people take. There's also a backhand line there. Got the elevated green. Very rocky footing. One of those holes you want to birdie.
Ben Cole starting us off with that forehand. He flips it over a little bit. If you go too far left, there's some water that generally doesn't come into play, but can, for sure.
Ian here flicking. Is that an overstable fairway you got there?
That is an H2, yeah. It's a overstable.
You'll be putting from there.
10 speed, yeah.
Liam looking like he's throwing something a little slower.
Yeah, he really likes mids and putters.
Madison opting for the backhand line here.
She's throwing her Tour Series F5.
Great shot.
And
if she wouldn't hit that last tree there, she would have been parked.
CTP'd, yeah.
Yeah, still CTP.
I didn't even realize she hit that tree.
Shout out to her husband, Jesse Tomeno, for being the TD of this event.
Both of them sponsored by Prodigy Discs.
Ben just laying up for a tap-in par. Got Ian here from just inside the circle. Looking at his birdie. Smash. That's how you want to start it out.
Always feels good to get that first putt. It's in the bottom of the basket.
Madison looking for her birdie here.
Comes up just shy. She was about the same distance as I was there. First hole jitters, maybe. Being on camera, that always gets me. This is my first full round on camera. I was definitely a little nervous on that putt.
I was on the card ahead of this group, and I'm a fair weather golfer myself, so just dealing with the rain and wet discs and having to towel off your disc every time was getting in my head for sure too, so maybe that was also a part of it.
Yeah. Apparently it rained all morning on the earlier tee times. I'm definitely feel for that. Hole 2, we have our first par 4, 456 feet. Mando left of that tree there, and dog leg to the right with a pretty tricky green to access. You don't see this one too very often. I don't think I've ever seen it.
I've never seen someone to it. I've heard it happen.
Believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I'm ripping on an F5 here.
Don't you normally throw like a mid-range off the tee here?
I do normally, yeah. I usually throw the M4, but I was, you know, I had it in my hand and I was like, no, I'm doing this.
And I mean, it worked out quite well. That's the best drive I've ever seen.
Which I think I might be throwing that F5 off this hole from now on.
Yeah, I don't see why you would change it up whatsoever. That's pretty much my preferred line there, what Ben just threw.
Ben
Mid-range.
throwing a rock, yeah.
Yeah.
Liam throwing something similar from Millennium Discs, his sponsor.
Leaking out a little to the left there, but if that's my mistake that I make, that's the preferred mistake to make rather than going too far to the right.
And Madison showing us the line, catching some late lettuce there.
Out of the hand, though, that was perfect.
Yeah, this green gets pretty tricky to access. You kind of just have to throw a good shot and get lucky a little bit. Don't hit one of those little guardian trees. And Liam shows us just how to do that.
Parks it. That should be a tap-in birdie for Liam. This is one of those greens you don't want to overshoot even 20 feet. You'll find yourself with a tricky putt. Ben there giving himself a shot at birdie. He'll have to earn it, though, with a putt.
Yeah, not too often you're jump putting on your approach on that, so that felt pretty good to start the second hole there.
I like how you left it short, too. You didn't even give it a run. You're just like, I'm going to take the birdie. Oh, speaking of birdie.
Yeah.
Ben Cole smashing it.
Throwing bullets. Yeah, like you said, you don't want to be going too long on this hole. I'll take a no-stress birdie all day.
Even though this hole's pretty short for a par 4, I'll take a birdie every time because it's pretty easy to get caught up in those early trees and be fighting for a par.
Yeah, and then the late trees here, the green pretty guarded, or like you were saying, if you overshoot, you have a chance that you don't even have a putt coming back.
That can be said a lot here at this course.
Very true, yep.
You can be inside the circle on a lot of these greens and have one of those tricky putts that can take you out of your game pretty quickly.
Yeah, a lot of atypical footing and weird patent pending putts. And
okay, here's hole 3, 280-foot shot, slight dog leg left. Basically, these are the trees you want to miss right here on a slight hyzer. And then kind of get sneaky through that bent tree to the green here on the left. That it's hard to tell on camera, but it's slightly elevated on a little plateau.
And I'll be throwing that H2 again, just trying to rip something over stable. Ooh. And that's the typical mistake.
Yeah, maybe if you would have missed that little tree there, that could have punched through to give yourself a, inside the circle putt.
Ben showing us the rock line a little wider.
And that's the play there. Basically, if you just barely miss that tree, you're usually set up for, I'm sure he's parked.
Yep.
Liam taking the low line approach.
And missing that guardian tree yep, there you go.
Yep, getting sneaky there. Right, yeah, that's what you got to do on this hole. This is a hole where I step up not thinking I'm going to deuce it, but you should deuce it if you just don't hit the line. As long as you're not bogeying it, I guess, the hole this short.
Yeah,
you definitely want to capitalize, but it's really not a gimme.
I'm stepping up just trying to hit that initial gap.
Let your putt do the talking, right?
I guess, yep. Well, left with about 55.
Liam for his birdie. Sneaking it over there.
And you can still hear that rain.
Slippery discs, slippery chains, things can happen. It's tough to take your time and when the conditions are like this too, but you kind of have to.
And there we see Madison even taking her time and tapping in for par. Pretty typical, 2 pars, 2 birdies. Here we are at hole 4. Yeah, really a straight shot. Hit this initial gap here and dog leg a little to the right, but I don't try to bite off that right turn at the end. I like something that just goes a little straighter to this this tucked away green.
Asking to miss the tree, it did not. That'll leave him probably about 100 feet away from the basket. Liam's got all the power to get to this hole. I've seen this guy crush discs 550 feet.
But he lets it go a little early, and that's definitely not a spot you want to find yourself, but a spot that one would find themselves quite often.
Yeah.
I'm ripping on a H2 V2, which is a lot more understable than that original H2 that I was throwing on those first couple holes. Madison throwing a D3 max on this one. Just turned a little out of her hand. Wow.
Ooh. Liam with a good upshot there, trying to get up and down. Probably just 22 to 25 feet outside the basket there. Madison with the forehand approach as well.
Probably left herself about 45, 50 feet, but that's a good out from where she was. And just a little putter forehand from Mr. Cole there.
Ian giving it a run. Probably about 70 feet away. That'll be a tap-in 3 for him. Or for you, I should say.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just exactly those words. That's my mentality at this place. You said it, Liam.
If you can eliminate the bogeys out here, you could have a pretty solid round because there's a lot of birdies that are attainable.
I'd say every hole is birdieable here fairly, but definitely every hole is also bogeyable.
Shout out to Alex Russell, who pretty much birdied almost every hole out here in a casual round recently. I think he shot like a 15 under or something ridiculous. We got a hole 5 here, 266 foot. Par 3. Got to get sneaky through these trees here to the basket, which will be on the left. Personally, this is a tricky hole for me. The line's a lot tighter than I feel like it plays. A lot of people birdie this hole, but myself,
I mean, look at all those trees.
It doesn't happen very often. Oh. Little early line there, as Ben was saying, but you can find some sneaky gaps in there. Oh, that fought through quite nicely. He's probably, 25 feet short of the basket?
I'd say he was about circle's edge, yeah.
Liam hitting the preferred route, in my opinion, then more to the right gap.
Yep, perfect line. I agree. I agree with my past self.
Yes, and your future self. If you see it again, I'm sure you'd say the same thing.
Yeah, there we go.
What disc are you throwing here?
PA1.
Okay.
A proto PA1.
Ooh, yeah, inside gap. Whoa. hearing chains. Let's see that.
Ring.
Oh, James Melnick on the catch cam there. Oh, fairway flight. Oh.
It's a great shot, but man, it hurts to watch it 3 times not go in.
Yeah.
It's like, is it going to go in this time?
Please go in this time.
Yeah, we were still talking about whether or not it went in or not, but
Madison looks unimpressed there, but that was a great drive from her.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody getting up there.
Here's one of those tricky putts we were talking about where even if you're close, you're going to have to challenge your putting game.
Yeah, no 2 putts are the same out here, that's for sure. She left it a little short, but looked like she had that weird footing.
Ooh, a little high, but that'll drop in for a deuce. You can hear the muck underneath Ben's feet there, rocking the Vans. Pretty bold move out here.
Yeah, he didn't seem to have any slippage problems though, so
It's because he's so smooth.
that's true, yeah.
Liam dropping in his birdie. And Ian still has a CTP, even though he smashed off the chains with some power there. I guess it's nice to have him there to slow you down.
Yeah. It sounds like we're having a good time.
Yeah, it seemed like your camaraderie here on the group was quite solid.
Yeah, it's a solid group to play with. I had a fun time. On to hole 6, 327 foot, about a 35-foot gap to hit all the way down to about a 40-foot elevation and a elevated basket. This hole is one of the good ones out here that if you get a 2, you feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, it says 327, but I feel like it takes 400 plus feet of power to actually access a park job.
Definitely, and Ben shows us just how to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Beautiful hyzer flip there.
But like you said, the elevated basket, even if you're 20 feet away from the pin, it can prove to be a tricky putt. There's some crooked trees up there and some weird stances to be had for those putts.
And it does not get lucky as he asks for it to get lucky. He'll be working to get that par. I was ripping on a D2 there. I like to try to get that hyzer flip through the gap and just play it from wherever it gets up there. If you don't get 300 feet on this hole, it proves to be pretty tricky.
Yeah, scrambling on this hole can prove to be difficult if you don't make that initial gap.
Like Liam is going to show us here, it takes some weird forehand standstill.
Looks like he'll give himself a shot at par, saving par there.
Madison playing just smart golf and taking her medicine.
Ian for his birdie. Oh,
just a little weak side.
I call that Dick Cheney.
Oof.
Yeah. Oh,
and Liam doesn't even get any of that Cheney.
No, not at all. Let's see if he'll get Cheney here. It's a good kind, though. Oh,
a little bit of that overcompensation or undercompensation.
Yeah. Whatever it is, it's not what he would prefer, I'm sure.
And Ben tapping in his birdie. Probably doesn't even feel like a tap in from there, like you were saying.
Ian with an easy par. And And yeah, it's got to be tough losing 3 strokes on one hole to a guy who taps in a birdie when Liam definitely has the power to get up there. But like we were saying, it's one of those holes. If you're just a little off the fairway, you're going to be struggling. Okay, we got hole 7 here, 387 feet. Got a hyzer shot here. I like to play a flippy driver on a hyzer and have it kind of stand up for me and fade into the green. Got a little elevation change, a little up to down. It's hard to see on camera.
Yeah, you almost don't even notice it when you're out there, but it definitely can come into play.
Get to see Ben's smooth form here. Like butter.
And that's a great line. Just he caught some of that last roughage up high.
What are you throwing here, Ian?
That's Prodigy's newest series. It's a D, which is their driver OS.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Overstable, is that what that
Just
stands for?
overstable,
Yeah.
and it's kind of beat up to be a little like a straight flyer.
And that's a common mistake I make, is hitting that little nub there that just pops out.
Yeah, that elevation we were talking about that can come into play. And Madison,
Great drive.
Great drive. I think she's thrown a Kale LaVisca D1 there.
Liam's easily got the power for this hole. Oh, yeah. Very nice. I bet that's up there in the circle. Catching some cabbage there. That'll leave you with a putt to save your par, though.
Ben's got like 60, 65 for bird here. Ooh.
Little low, tap in.
Such a great putter, though. I think he was a little tentative to run it too hard from there, because this green can get away from you pretty quick.
Ian taking his time here.
You noticed the sun had come out, and I took my sweater off.
Nice par save. Got Liam here for his birdie. This is where I want my drive to be every time, but I probably birdie this 1 out of every 20 drives. It's a tough one. Very nice.
Yeah, I definitely want to get this one, but I usually end up a little shorter than I expect to be. I feel like it's a 400 plus power hyzer.
I feel like I should be able to get it every time, but it just doesn't work out that way. That's disc golf, right?
That's why we come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got Ben tapping out his par here, and he's sitting at 4 down. I'm 1 behind him at 3. Liam's back to 2 down, and Madison rounding out at a 2 over.
Good bounce back for Liam there after picking up a double bogey to just come out and park the next hole. That's good to see. What a beautiful green you've got there, too.
Madison giving me the pity laugh. I was giving her words of encouragement. Hole 8 here, par 4, 358 as the crow flies, but due to that Mando and the massive dog leg left, it plays a little further than that. This is the ideal landing zone here by this large stump, and then you're just left with a couple 100 feet to a rocky green there.
Kind of on a mound.
Mound green.
I think he leaked a little to the right there. That was kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, I think he hit a little branch or something.
Oh, Sneaky Pete.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did that.
I'll show you.
Okay, yeah. What are the odds?
Yeah.
That's
yeah, I was going for that.
For whoever's watching this who's maybe never seen this course before, that is not the preferred route.
Yeah, that is a...
Yeah, yeah. Madison showed you the preferred route there. Maybe she hit something and...
Liam over here with a interesting lie. He's...
Yeah, to say the least.
Out of the bushes there. You can barely even see him.
Doing his best Bear Grylls impression. Being one with nature.
I'm not sure if that was his upshot that it showed on the catch cam, but he had a really good approach from there. Madison catching a tree on her upshot. Oh, I'm catching a tree on my upshot. Pretty typical on this hole. I remember you were saying that your approach is changed on this hole. What changed about it for you?
I used to try to cut off as much distance as possible and get as far left as possible just to make my upshot that much easier. But what I found out was I was kind of forcing the issue. If you just throw a straight shot with maybe a little bit of a dump at the end, you're going to put yourself where Ben is there to just create yourself a really easy 3. But even knowing that, just playing this hole right before you guys did, I got a 5 on it. So
yeah, and I want nothing to do with any of that putt, so I'm just laying up for par. Madison, I think, laying up for par here.
Knowing the path and walking the path are two different things completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, this hole being a par 4 at only 358 feet, you really want to get the 3 every single time, but easier said than done.
It'll get away from you. And Liam being the most out of position with a fantastic scramble for his birdie from where he was. That doesn't happen too often. So kudos to him for getting the only birdie on this hole here. Everybody else will be tapping in their par. I think Madison also tapping in for par.
Par's not a bad score on this hole either.
Nope. Oh, Madison's tapping in for bogey, but like Grummert said, that hole can get away from you.
Really easily.
Yeah.
Speaking of holes that can get away from you, we got hole 9 here. Par 4, 484 feet. I got a little uphill elevation change here off the tee. Got a pretty open landing zone that you'd like to access right around here. The camera will just keep turning right on you here, the drone coverage. It's a shot even with the perfect drive, you'll still find issues on your upshot. And then you've got this little mound here where the basket rests on.
At 440 or 84 plays more like 600. You know, you get about 200-300 foot shots in a row.
Liam just lacing it how you would draw it up pretty much every time.
Ben's gonna show us the backhand rock shot here. A little tighter line, that's my ideal, yeah.
The gallery loves it. What's your disc of choice here?
I like that M4. It's a proto M4, and it just goes to the right. It's one of my favorite Prodigy mid-ranges. It's been in my bag. That disc has been in my bag for about 4 years. It's what I like to call a cheater disc. It can, I can get it to go right, I can get it to go left, but it's very, very neutral. I wouldn't call it understable or overstable, yeah.
Puts it on the line that you choose to throw it on, kind of thing.
Exactly.
A little low out of your hand, but that'll get you a look at a birdie.
Yeah, and Liam's drive looked ideal from the tee pad, yet he's still going forehand from a knee.
That'll be a tricky position where he ended up there too. The brush gets a little thick there on the right.
Yeah, it seems like this upshot's getting harder every year.
Yeah. Yeah, those bushes near the end of the fairway keep growing for some reason.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're in a lush forest.
Sean Chapman and his crew do a lot of good work out here, so
Yeah, shout out to them for all the work that they've done.
Scott Fromm, give him a shout out too. He's put in a lot of work. Yeah, I'm left with about a 75 footer, but this green you can run pretty fearlessly.
It drops off a little bit behind there, but usually the angle that you're throwing from the fairway, you can be aggressive. But if you're on the right side, kind of like Madison is here, it's a little more difficult to be aggressive because it'll
she
drop off
that layup from there. Yep.
wisely.
Seems like she's playing some smart golf today. Ooh, Ben almost connects for the birdie. The elusive 3 on this hole.
This hole feels really good to 3. Actually, our last practice round, Ian and I both parked it for our 3s.
Yeah, we played that hole better than I think I've seen a card play it ever.
Yeah. Give ourselves a pat on the back for that one.
Well, I'll pat your back.
Pat.
You
There
patted
you go.
mine.
Yeah.
And that concludes... Ben tapping out here for par. And that'll conclude our front 9 first round coverage at the Columbia Cup Social Distance C-Tier. There's a recap of scores.
Yeah, it looks like we got Joe Nelson, Culver Dolan, both shooting -5.
Pretty good front 9.
Stay tuned for round 1, part 2. Thanks to Gripped.com for the coverage. Thanks for joining us, Michael Grummert.
And Ian Blake, Fairway Media.